unplug it, okay? So keep and see what happens. Then turn it off. So every time you unplug it, it looks like it resets. And where's that cord? Here's the cord over here. And let's turn this baby on. So now it's a solid orange. So once it's a solid orange, that means it's good. That means what it's going to do is it's going to cycle itself. I don't know if this means it resets. I still have to read the manual. Keep in mind, like, my focus was to make sure this thing works first, not to read the manual first. But yeah, so it's going to do the cycling. So if the cat's pooped in there, right, all the clean litter would go in these grates. See? So that's little, it's a little pocket for it. Here's a great pooper scooper over here. And that guy. Oreo, don't go in here when it's moving, okay? So I guess Oreo's gonna learn how this works. So Oreo, your poop, it's gonna go in there. Oreo, don't jump in here. Jeez. Oreo wants to go in there. Oreo, this is like a bad time to go in there. You're supposed to poop in there. This is not a fun play toy. So if the poop would go in that chute, okay? That chute is so big, it's like 4 inches by 4 inches. Just enough for your poop, okay? And then see the clean litter, Oreo? It goes back out. Remember how I went into that little clean pocket? Look at this cat. He's looking intently. So the litter is going to shift back. And it's going to be a little lopsided. But don't worry, Oreo. It's going to go back, okay? Now, Oreo, if you walk in here, it's not gonna like spin you around or anything, okay? It's gonna stop automatically, but I would not recommend walking into this little robot while it's moving. I know it's tempting. I know sometimes you can't wait to hold your poop, but just wait till it stops. If it doesn't stop, well, okay, see? Ta-da! Solid blue. So we are good. We got 2 cats checking it out. Well, what is this all of a sudden? Well, everybody wants to go in this little porta potty now? Okay. So this seems to be working, and I wanted to tell you how I fixed it. So there were 2 cables underneath. I showed it to you guys in my last stream. One, it was kind of weak, the soldering job, so it broke off while I was trying to flip it. This thing took me way too long. So I tried masking taping it onto the plastic because there's a plastic casing on there, but the masking tape did not hold. And then I was a little pissed off because I thought, frick, Erica, you know, you gotta, maybe you'll wait an extra day or 2 or 3 to get this thing soldered. So I woke up today and it was on my mind. I actually didn't sleep well of all things, but it dawned on me, hey Erica, you got this little low temperature glue gun. This is actually for floral. And what I did is I made basically a big button of a glue gun. Not that big, but maybe like this big. And then I just pushed the cable in. And then I had it touch the connector onto the board. So it's glued onto the hard plastic. It's low temperature. They use this for floral, and I didn't see it meld or anything like that, so I think it just stuck as adhesive. I think it should be fine, but not recommend it. But yeah, it was hardening, and I just pushed it in there. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay. It is working as a temporary fix until Lewis solders it, but it's let's see what the temperature is. It is 225 degrees bonding temperature, fast heating, lightweight. I don't think it was hot enough to burn the plastic, so you can use it for balloons, ribbon, polyester and foam, I think this is cool enough. So if I mean, like, if it's fine for a freaking balloon, I can't imagine it causing damage to a cord. But you know, I imagine someone's gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, Erica, that was just way too hot." You know, but it seems to be working, and yeah, I think it is all right. For now, worst case scenario, I don't know what the worst case scenarios. I don't think it's gonna cause a fire, but it looked like it was okay. I felt it, and it wasn't that hot, so I can't imagine it melting the outside sheath of the plastic. But it's just a temporary fix. Once we get the soldering iron over here, then yeah, then I can just remove it and then get that thing professionally soldered on instead. But I just wanted to confirm with you guys that yes, it is working. It does work. Simply, it was just the board being flipped over to the other side. And just to make this really short, in case you guys didn't watch my last stream because it was pretty lengthy, I picked this up from the sidewalk, and what happened was is that it kept flashing blue. So I thought to myself, okay, well the reason why it's flashing blue is maybe it's not. Maybe I have to reset it. Maybe there's a blockage or so. And then I looked underneath because some people like Aaron were commenting that the sensor underneath could be blocked. So it has these little two chip boards, right? Like two green ones, and then they're facing each other. So you know when you go over to, let's say, Best Buy, right? You know how you go through those like the security towers, right? So you go between there, and then if you have something that you're not supposed to take, or they didn't remove it, right? It goes beep 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 because you those two things, right? So you got one facing one way and the other one facing this way, and then they check you because you're in between. That works for this little robot. So in between here, in this case scenario, there's a sensor here and there's a sensor here. It's got a DFI sensor, and in between would be the waste. So when it's too full, it will say, hey, we got too much waste in here because there's a blockage, right? One sends a signal, the other one receives. If this one doesn't receive, it says, okay, we're not going to work until you remove that blockage. Now, I was wiping it down, and then I looked underneath and I was like, how come I don't see this little black screen of sorts? There should be like a little black circle. And I thought, like, well, if I don't see the black circle, how the hell is this thing working, right? Like, where the hell is the sensor? I really thought like I had an older model or something, but I could not find any model where it didn't have the black screen. So I looked underneath, and I had my phone camera, and I realized that in the back the plastic was broken. And then when I turned my head a little, I could see that it was, instead of the two sensor facing each other, so let's say the black square facing this way, it was facing the outer casing over here. So of course it's going to show up as full, because what it's doing is that when it sends a signal, it shows up to the outer casing, and because the outer casing is plastic, right, it's a barrier, it registers the outer casing as like a pile of poop, a barrier. So that's why it was always full. So I took it out. That was my stream where I called someone a dummy because I really believe all they had to do was just wipe it down, wipe the plastic screen on it, because you can see with like clay litter, it causes dust, right? It's dusty. So when you keep using this thing, dust accumulates, kind of like on your windshield wiper, your car. You know how you have that fine layer of dust? And that's what caused it to show up as a full. So I don't think they wiped it down. I think what they did is they took it apart, right? After they took it apart, you guys can look at my previous stream for it. After they took it apart, they broke the plastic casing, and then they did this really piss poor scotch tape job. And instead of, not only did they break the plastic casing, they shoved it in so the ribbon actually got punctured, right? Because it's like there's grooves in there, and they just rammed it in there, damaged the ribbon. Thankfully, the wiring in the ribbon wasn't damaged. There's a hole in there, however, the hole's in the plastic gap, not in the wiring itself. So that's really lucky for me. And when they put it in, right, not only did they break the casing, not only did they cause a hole in the ribbon, they put it in backwards. So instead of facing it both this way they're facing outwards, and that's why it wasn't working. I think they got pissed off and they said, screw it, I'm just going to throw it away, because again, the little robot does not work if it registers as always full. You can do you can do a cycle. I can press cycle and it will work. But the whole point of a litter robot is when the cat poops, it automatically does this for you at a preset time, which is either 3 minutes, 7 minutes, or 15 minutes. So they had a litter robot that worked if you press the button, but it's not working like a litter robot should. So, um, and then they bought this in 2018. Warranty ended out in 2019. So I was able to really simply by just putting the boards, instead of having it face outwards like they misinstalled it, facing inwards, and then I wiped the plastic. And my fault. I broke one of the soldering joints because it already looked loose when I was looking at it, and you guys can look at that stream. So not too surprising that that weak soldering joint broke off. And yeah, I glue gunned it in paste. It has to be resoldered on. Small job, but as long as the connector is together with where it broke off, it's fine. So, yeah, I'm assuming that this is already fixed. It just needs that soldering job. Really small fix. If that soldering job didn't break off, then this would have been really no extra, a free repair. But I couldn't find the power cord, so I did have to buy a $13 power cord off Amazon, and that was my only cost for this. So this Litter Robot is a Litter Robot 3 Connect. It will tell you on the app when this thing is full. Now you can see it's ready, right? So if a cat poops in here, it says, hey, we got space, because it's a solid blue. The cat can poop, and if the cat poops, then we will make sure we cycle it, kind of thing. And yeah, great stuff. I'll let you guys know if I think this is truly worth $500 or not. That is the retail price of this thing. Yeah, the little spaceship thing. I did do a little bit of research over here, and I do have a few concerns. I heard that sometimes the cats walk in, and because it is kind of small, the cat's litter box right now is like 3 feet by 2 feet. Because it's a little small, here's my arm. I don't know if you guys can see it. Sometimes the cats, they do this triggering thing. The butt will be over here, and then they might poop or pee over this ledge. So the way that you have them turn around is they say that you can put something over here, like a weight. I don't know how the hell this would work, like a small one or something, and that way it kind of pushes them to turn around the other side, so their butt should be that way instead of this way. I got to do more research into it. You can also buy a little robot fence, and then it encourages them to scoot in, but people say it's a ripoff. So I'm gonna have to look into that. And the smell on the little robot, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is a little because this is made out of plastic, it absorbs smell. So I did wipe it. I did use an odor eliminator, but like with any plastic, right? If you guys smell your kitchen trash can, if it's made out of plastic, you can smell that it smells like garbage, right? There's no way around it. So what people do is they get this little they'll use things like odor eliminators in there, and I'll do a review about it, because most likely it'll either come tomorrow or Sunday. And they put a little jar in the front, and they claim it works really well. It should last for about 60 days. Some people also put like some sort of litter additive in here to smell the ammonia from the cat urine. Male cats are more stinky than female cats. So this is a problem with litter robots. I don't want to like tell you guys like, oh yeah, I didn't find anything wrong with the litter robot. It is a very real concern that people have about their litter robots getting stinky over time. And this interior liner, you can replace this for $35. The globe is $110, but this the base itself is like $300. Now this part, I don't know how much it costs. I think this came together, but I might be remembering it wrong. But just keep in mind, like, yeah, if you replace the plastic pieces, it can be pretty freaking costly. And that's why people really try to eliminate the smell, and they have to buy things specifically to absorb the smell. I've also read that some people complain about, let's say, the litter not clumping enough. I've told you guys that I have a post nasal drip or something. So I've told you guys that my concerns with Oriole's poop is his poops are a little softer than the other cats. That's why he's on prescription sensitive food. So I'm gonna let it sit for 15 minutes, which is the max amount of time. It really is 3 minutes, 7 minutes, or 15 minutes after the cat it cycles. It does that 360 cycle. Some people have said that they wish they could adjust it so it's 30 minutes or maybe only once a day rather than this thing keep constantly cycling. But they don't have that option for Little Robot. I've also, so yeah, I've heard about that option. It might not be long enough time for the poop to harden. We'll see with Oreo cat. If you guys have a cat with normal poop, I would say that, and if Oriole's cat is fine, then I would say that your cat would have no problem using this. Clinton and Barry's poop, I'm not worried. Oriole's poop, a little bit more worried about him. I don't want to see what looks to be, poop smeared all around here. I'm just gonna, so that's why I want to give it the 15 minutes. So, concerns about Oreo, his poop does not harden in 15 minutes enough. Second concern, his tail goes over here and he poops on the edge. Oreo doesn't poop in there and he decides to poop on the stairs or outside of the litter box. And that's about it. And smell, yes, you will have to. I would highly recommend buying some sort of odor eliminator thing inside of it. And I'll let you guys know how that works. I see that there's an odor eliminator thing. I think it's called Fresh Save or Fresh Start. I'm not remembering it correctly, but when I look later on, I'll put the link in the description and you guys can check it out. It's about $14 for, so it seems, I don't know if it's a promotional thing. This post this stream is not obviously sponsored, but I'm just commenting to you guys. But I think it's 18-ounce one plus a 7-ounce one for $14.99 on Amazon right now. People say it works really well. They highly recommend it for Little Robot. There is a charcoal filter under here, but people have said that it's kind of useless. Or if you do want to replace the charcoal filter, let me show you guys this. There's a charcoal filter over there. See that? They say this thing is basically useless. So, and you can buy a higher quality filter. So, but you have to cut it to size. So, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be replacing the charcoal filter plus adding in the little odor eliminator thing as well. I think, yeah, cost of this, right? All these like little things does add up, and I wanted to be upfront about it because if any of you guys think about buying a $500 Little Robot or use Little Robot, right? It's very important that you're cognizant about these things. Don't just buy a Little Robot and think like, oh, it won't smell. You have to be very, very mindful about the smell. And again, if you don't believe me, smell your kitchen trash can. If it's plastic and you've had it for, let's say, over a year, that thing, the plastic it smells absorbs the odors. And I wish that the base was made out of something other than plastic, but yeah, that would have been even more freaking costly. Like if the base was made out of metal or something, that would be awesome. Or aluminum, awesome. But that is probably asking too much. Or even just the freaking tray over here, right? What if the tray was made out of metal instead of plastic, so it couldn't absorb odors? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I'm looking too into it. So I'm happy that it works. Solid blue line, it is good. And just in case you guys are not familiar with the Little Robot, you don't want to put it over the line over here. See this line? See that little line? If you put it over, it's going to overfill and then it's going to go straight into the waste bin. So when I did this stream initially, the first stream I did for this Little Robot, you can see that I was bitching about it and I didn't realize like how freaking little litter this is. This is not very much litter inside of here at all. And I'm a little concerned that I think Oreo or the cats might be like, how come you're not giving me more litter? They're used to having like this much litter in their litter box, and this is pretty freaking low. Now I understand that I didn't put it all the way because I do have to mix it in with their old litter to incentivize them to use it, but even at the full amount, I personally don't think it's very deep for the cat. So if your cat is maybe a digger, maybe they might be a little uncomfortable using it. Yeah, so what am I going to do about this thing? I'm a little worried about Clinton kicking the litter out, so we will see. We will see how it turns out. I just by principle, I don't want to pay $50 for a freaking cat step that's like, what, 3 inches tall for Oreo. Oreo most likely will get either a stack of wood or bricks or a stack of book or phone book instead. Yeah. And I was just like, Oreo, if I'm gonna spend $50 on stuff, I might as well spend it on freaking cat supply rather than that. And just to give you a sneak peek about my little trials and tribulations of living with Oreo cat. So here's my little sneak. So someone had recommended, because it seems like Oreo cannot cough up litter balls. Not litter balls, hair balls. My bad. Hair balls. Get this and put this on his paw. Okay, here's a problem with this, you guys. Oreo, I put this on his paw. He walked around the house with this freaking thing on, and he just flipped his paw. So he is not gonna lick this thing on. In fact, he went to the litter box with this stuff on here. So I had to grab out a butt wipe and wipe his paw, because his paw not only had this salmon flavor gel, it had litter on it, because yeah, he refused to lick his paw. So I tried. I really did try. Most likely, I'm gonna have to put this in his mouth, because Oreo is not gonna be like a one of the other cats. And oh, look, there's something on my paw. Let me lick it. Not Oreo. Um, so yeah, look at my community posts. Just I was like, Oreo, I wanted you to lick your paw, so I don't have to put this in your mouth. But thank you for the suggestion. Someone suggested it. I'll see how this thing works. Give it maybe 2 weeks or so. See if he chokes up any. I mean, if he coughs up any hairballs. But look at this. See. So Clinton and Barry definitely don't need it. Just Oreo. Oreo's the extra care cat. Always, you guys. If you guys follow, you guys know that Oreo is always prescription food. All extra dander spray, hair stuff, tartar stuff. Yeah, just I can be frank with you guys. Like everything that I have decided to like hyper focus on the cats, it's because of Oreo. Because Oreo has so many like little issues, and I think part of it is that he has a sensitive stomach. The other part is that he's kind of a he doesn't like to groom himself. He's pretty lazy. It's not like he can't groom himself. It's just he knows I'm gonna do it. So he's just yeah, and he does a really lazy grooming job. If you guys ever watch him groom, he like lies down and he'll groom his like shoulder, and he'll just groom like his leg or sometimes his butt, but he doesn't do a very thorough job. He's not nearly as clean as Blackberry and Clinton for sure. Like he runs out of energy and he's like, I think I groomed myself enough. I will go to sleep now. And I'm like, freaking Oreo. Yeah. So I got my yeah, so Oreo extra care cat for sure. Ah, no smell once the cleaning cycle ends. Yeah, for this one, I don't know if it's because it's a 3-year-old model or what, but I've read on Reddit, r/litter robot, people complain about the smell because the poop stays inside of the litter robot, right? And depending on how smelly your cat's poop is, if it's like freaking Oreo, then that's some pretty noxious poop while it's drying, and it just oh my goodness, like two male cats plus yeah, like Barry doesn't smell, but freaking Clinton, yes, Clinton does smell a little, but Oreo takes the freaking cake. And he's gotten stool tests, he's gotten blood tests. It's just I told they said there was nothing wrong with his poop, and I was like, there's nothing wrong with his poop. And it still smells like this. So they did testing on it, and it came out fine. So just Oreo being his naturally poopy, smelly self. So yeah, breakfast, and I will talk to you guys later. And yeah, thank you so much for all your suggestions and all your because yeah, I will see. I would not recommend, just putting a disclaimer, I would not recommend using a low temperature glue gun. I don't think it's safe long term, possibly not, right? I personally thought, but I would suggest doing an actual soldering job instead of trying to glue gun it. Some people said putting a piece of masking tape on the joint because it wasn't on the board itself, but it was on the plastic protective cover. That was okay, but adhesive does not stick forever sometimes, right? So yeah, that's why I decided, like, yeah, screw it. Let me just use this temporarily and see, see if that's use it or not. Oriole seems intrigued by it. Clinton seems intrigued by it. I don't think they're scared about it. I think my only concern is that they walk in while it's spinning or something, and then it stops, and then I have to manually reset it or something. So yeah. Uh, Let's see. So yes, I am freaking in charge of the three pooper scoopers, and I also picked this thing up really quickly. Dander reducing wipes. I thought this would be great for Clinton. I had mixed reviews about this for Clinton, just because I did not realize. I forgot that. So Clinton does not tolerate getting sprayed with dander spray, but he also does not like getting his butt wiped, and he got his butt wiped yesterday. So this, when you open it up, like a butt wipe. So he saw me walking around towards him with this freaking this dander wipe, and he ran, and I was like, Clinton, I need you to come over here so I can wipe you down with this dander wipe. This comes out to 11 cents each. So I really, I rather use the spray because it's more cost effective rather than this one. But yeah, this lasts almost 2 months for 50. Yeah, because I don't know. I know some people are really cheap. Maybe they might be tempted to cut it in half. I personally wouldn't cut it in half because this, like, I might be tempted to cut it in half if it was a cat like Oreo, but freaking Clinton, he does not like getting wiped with anything wet. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. And yeah, I just want to get the dander down. I do highly believe that my skin does break out due to cat fur, cat dander, and I noticed that although I do have nose issues today, my arm in the last 2 days, yesterday and today, has been much better. I don't know if you guys can see it, but if you can barely see anything, if you can only see like a little tinge of redness, yeah, there's not really anything there. I haven't even moisturized it since I woke up. So, yeah, let me see. You can see there's a little tinge of redness, but if you saw me out on the street, you wouldn't even notice it. Like, I don't even notice it. So, I really do think cat hair bothers my arm, and I only made that realization because I realized, like, man, there's so much cat hair sticking to my arm, and part of it is that when you live in an apartment and you have three cats, right? If you don't brush them regularly, then cat hair floats around even more. So I did a lot of vacuuming, sweeping, brushing the cats. I'm brushing the cats definitely in the morning, um, and then I hit them with dander spray. And then throughout the day, sometimes I'll walk around and then I might brush them like 3 additional times, like really short, maybe like a minute each, just to get out more cat hair. And then definitely before I go to sleep, they also get brushed too because Oreo sleeps between us, right? I don't want Oreo to get all his freaking cat hair all over the bed. And because I sleep in that same bed, right, the cat hair while I'm sleeping can irritate my skin. So I want to minimize Oreo's fur. Oreo's the cat that sheds the most. I did not realize that too. So he's not only the cat with the most visible dander, he's also the cat that sheds the most, and he's a cat that sleeps right next to me, right between us. And he likes to get all in my business. Like sometimes I'll wake up and his face will be like conjoined right next to the side of my face. And really sweet cat, just the freaking cat fur. I gotta reduce it. So I'm happy that it seems like I don't have to put them on any prescription food or any like anti-allergen food. But it does require maintenance. It does require dander spray plus a brush, and but I don't really mind it because I figure that the more I'm up on it, right? if I forget for, let's say, if I like slack off for like 1 or 2 days, which I don't plan on doing, but it might happen, right? I might be like, I don't feel like brushing the cats today. It's not gonna be too bad versus like if I didn't brush them for like 2 to 3 weeks or so. Because Orioles fur, oh my goodness, Oreo just is so much fur. So I'm not worried about over brushing the cats. It's just that I want to maintain it. So I was aggressively, I don't want to say aggressively brushing them, but I was brushing them quite a bit. And then now I'm kind of tapering it down because I'm like, okay, from here, it's just small little maintenance. But I could be wrong because I know that sometimes they say like if you have a cat like a Persian, you're supposed to be brushing that cat every day. And of course, we don't have Persian cat, thank God. But if we had a Persian cat, I don't know how quickly the fur would be shedding. Right? Would it be a sizable amount? I know for like certain dogs, like Huskies, I think they can have a lot of fur. Now, how often do they shed massive amounts? I heard it depends on the freaking season, but I don't know too much about cat fur or dog fur to say, okay, well, you got to just hit them every day for like 10 minutes brushing them or 5 minutes brushing them. I think I'm sticking around like 5 minutes a day. Maybe like 3 minutes in the morning and then 3 minutes in the evening, 3 to 5 minutes in the evening, and then maybe about 1 minute throughout the day, 1 or 2 minutes throughout the day. So just a lot of brushing. But the cats look great. They look very soft, and that's the reason why they look soft. So if you catch like a picture or video of the cats and you wonder like, oh wow, the cats look great, just know it's brushing. It's just brushing, brushing, brushing. Just making sure that the fur looks it's well maintained. And I kind of want to go down like the slippery slope and figure out like what do people who have, let's say, Instagram worthy cats do for their cats, right? What is the maintenance of their cats? How much do they groom their cats? How much do they wash their cats? Because just for curiosity's sake, I want to see how much maintenance is used to have a cat that looks really healthy. And it's hard for me to find that kind of information. Like I'll find things like they'll say, "Oh, if you want to bring the cat over to like PetSmart or a groomer, you should do it every I think 4 to 6 weeks." But I I don't think it. I know there has to be brushing in between. Some people recommend brushing. I've seen for brushing for the cats, they say some domestic short hairs, you should brush them once a week. Other people say you should be brushing the cat every day. Um, who knows? Who knows? There's a lot of conflicting things, but for me, my personal thing is try to brush the cat every day, at least once a day, maybe twice a day. You don't have to go overkill, but if you forget, let's say 2 times a week or something, then that's still better than a good chunk of people, right? Because you're doing 5 times a week. So, yeah, and then the cat fur that's left around, less cleaning, less allergies, and yeah. So part of the increased care for the cat is because I realize like yeah, my skin gets itchy around the cat fur, and I don't want to live a life where I have to keep popping in allergy pills, and if the cat fur is irritating my skin, then I have to be proactive about it. So it keeps me in check. Oriole's happy not having to groom himself as much. He just kind of flops down and he likes it. He likes getting groomed. Very, very lucky that the cat that needs the most maintenance loves getting groomed. But Clinton is pretty resistant about things. But yeah, he allows me to groom him, just not as much as I would like him. I wish he would just like lie down and I could be like, okay, Clinton, I'll groom you. Just allow me to groom you. But yeah, he doesn't. But thankfully, he sheds the least amount of fur. So it's Oriole, and then Blackberry, and then Clinton. So because Clinton sheds the least amount of fur, I still want to brush him at least once or twice a day. But if he allows me to only brush him, let's say for 20 seconds or so, that's not bad at all. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later, and you guys take care. Um, I gotta do some laundry, but depending on how I feel, I might actually do the dry stream today. We will see.